The Godfather of the French far right. I know the term far right is an ambiguous and often debatable and much abused word at times now, far right. But yeah, Jean-Marie Le Pen was the godfather of the French far right, and he passed away last week, aged 96. His daughter, of course, Marine Le Pen, her party in France are now closer than ever to power. Of course, it's worth noting that she's passed on the leadership of the party to her to Jordan Bardella, who's now in his late 20s, but she's still obviously a huge figure in French politics, as was her father, Jean-Marie Le Pen. Now, it's worth, a lot of people probably haven't seen in the British news media that there were celebrations on the street of Jean-Marie Le Pen's passing, mainly by people often labelled as far left, but I'm sure there were people maybe further to the centre as well that were also celebrating. These people have been accused of dancing on Jean-Marie Le Pen's grave, dancing in the street, partying over the death of somebody, is seen by most people to be pretty poor taste, and it's put a lot of people on the far left in a very, very bad light. And Marine Le Pen, the daughter of Jean-Marie Le Pen, who's just passed away last week, aged 96, says that this is just a disappointing symptom of the increasingly savage and violent, brutal nature of a lot of French society, that people could actually do this, effectively dance on somebody's grave, that anybody could be partying in the street over the death of a politician who, it's worth also noting, he was never actually elected. Jean-Marie Le Pen is a very enigmatic, very iconic, powerful figure in French politics. Since the 1960s and 70s, he formed the National Front, now called National Rally Party, in 1972 in France. And but to be celebrating his death in the street, his daughter Marine Le Pen just seems to be of the opinion that this is just another symptom of the increasingly violent and nasty nature of French society. France has become an increasingly violent and dangerous country in recent decades. But then the same could be said in many ways about this country. And of course, many people see uncontrolled, excessive, chaotic immigration and migration policy as a big part of, and lack of integration as a big part of this increasing savagery in society and brutality. In France, they actually call it the brutalization of society. And many people see the celebrating of Jean-Marie Le Pen's death on the street, partying, drinking, dancing, as not just very poor taste, but also symptomatic of the increasing, brutalization, as they call it over there, of society. But yeah, the godfather of the French far right, love him or hate him, he was certainly much more racist, or very racist, I think, when he was younger. But he'd, should we say, mellowed with age, and was very, very charming, and very, very warm and charming. And many French people say that his predictions were right, and now everything that he said all those years is coming true, and he was right all along. A bit like many people say in this country about Enoch Powell, you might say. So, what do you think? Do you think celebrating the death of a what many people see as a far right, racist, political heavyweight is a appropriate or good thing, or do you think it's very bad taste and dancing on somebody's grave? What do you think? Because I don't think this particular aspect of Jean-Marie Le Pen's passing last week has been covered or featured in any of the British, UK news media. I might be wrong, but I haven't seen anything in the news media here about this. So yes, what do you think? All opinions and comments welcome as always, but let's keep the debate polite and civilized as always.